Hi, welcome to Alaska and the Philippines, currently in Thailand. Today I thought I'd touch on what to expect when you fly into Bangkok, getting through immigration, and just all that madness day that when you do land in that big airport. But first, you've got to start off. I'm mentioning the flight. You know, you're going to get on a flight probably from the West Coast somewhere, Seattle or Portland, or all the way down the coast. I guess down Texas too. Any of the big major cities you'll be able to fly out of. And when you fly in, it's a long. That first leg is a long trip. It's like 13 hours to Taiwan. You'll have to stop. They always have a stopover. You don't fly direct. Maybe they're starting those flights, I've heard, but you don't fly direct generally. You fly into Taiwan or Korea, Incheon Airport, South Korea, or Japan. Those are about the three you want to land at. I wouldn't go through China. I know they have flights through there, and they'll probably be really cheap and stuff, but I've heard some bad stories. I remember that old YouTuber Ned, he flew through it once, and he says he got hung up there for overnight. They said the weather was down, it was bad, but what it was pollution level was so thick that they couldn't get visibility to take off. They had some pollution. So think about that. And he said he'd never do it again. And I was tempted to do it. I seen the cheap flights going through China, and I thought about it, but no, I don't want to go through there. And so, yeah, stick with Taiwan's a good airport to fly through, and so is South Korea. The fact that Incheon in South Korea is the best airport I think I've ever been in. The one in Taiwan's beautiful too. They're just like big malls. Even the Cebu airport now is getting nice. It's pretty nice too. It's just like a big mall. It's got shops for high-end Gucci and all these, big names are in these airports. It's just like a giant mall walking through. But anyway, yeah, you get to that 13-hour flight, and by then you're getting off. You want to get an evening flight, so you're leaving. Most of them, when I left Seattle, they leave at 1 o'clock in the morning. And that's kind of good. You try to get some sleep over the flight. And then you'll hit Taiwan or South Korea. And then usually there's a short layover on that leg going down. The layover is kind of short. Usually it's only about 6 hours, 4 hours before you get, maybe less than that, 3 or 4 hours before you get on your flight again. You get through the airport. The airport's easy to negotiate. They're all just one straight line pretty much. You go through security again, and then you just go to your gate and wait, and your plane will be at 6 in the morning usually, something like that. And then you'll fly that last leg to Thailand or the Philippines. If you're going to the Philippines, you'll do that. You'll go to, they actually goes there. It's an international hub. It goes to Vietnam. There's flights that go all through Cambodia. You see all the listings on the board, every country practically. So yeah, and then you're flying on, say you're coming into Bangkok then, and then you land. That's about another 3.5 hours, I think. Same with the Philippines, about 3.5 hours. Or maybe 4 to Thailand, Bangkok. I can't remember quite. Because I flew from the Philippines this time, I flew in to Cebu. But I have flown into Bangkok directly and went through Taiwan before from Seattle. So that's something to think about. But anyway, you get to the airport, and the first time I flew in, it was kind of complicated. You had to make some turns and stuff to get to immigration. Now they got it streamlined pretty good. It's a big, wide, long walkway, and it's got the electric conveyor belt sidewalks you can stand on. They go pretty fast. And you're tired, you got off your flight anyway. I always walk just to do that, just to little stretch your legs after that long flight. But anyway, when you get there, before you even get to immigration, everybody's herded down the same hall going to the thing, and there's signs all the way to immigration. It's a straight shot, so you don't have to worry about finding it. Actually, I almost missed it though. And that's where I stopped and got a SIM card, AIS SIM card. It's a pretty popular phone company here, internet for Bangkok, or the whole Thailand. Actually, it's everywhere in Thailand. It's a $30 month plan. I had to buy the SIM card, and I did that right as before I even got to immigration. I had a got a SIM card, just hand them your phone. They'll put the SIM card in. There was no registration or nothing like there is in the Philippines, by the way. And I think maybe there was. Maybe they wanted my passport. Maybe they did. I can't remember. I was so tired when I did it. I came in late at night. So, but yeah, and then you get your phone with the SIM card and you got a phone number. And then you go down and you walk down and then I missed all the crowd. I was getting the thing, so I had to walk and it just showed keep going straight. It looked like I was going straight, but I saw a room off to the left that looked like it was really crowded, and it must be that. So you go up, take a left up these small stairs, and you go into this room. It's like a giant gymnasium. And there's about 10 or so counters of immigration. You look, and the whole room is just like a gymnasium full of people trying to get through immigration. You're like, oh wow. They're all in rope velvet lines that go this string back and forth through. And it moves pretty fast, believe it or not. When you get in the line, you're actually bumping up, every minute or two you're bumping up. So it goes kind of fast. But when I flew in, another thing, when I flew out of Cebu, they asked me at the counter, the Philippines Air asked me if I had a onward ticket from Thailand. And I was surprised it was the Philippines asking me that. Because they'll ask you that to get before you board a plane into the Philippines, you got to have that onward ticket. And she is asking me, do you have an onward ticket in Thailand? And I was like, no, I didn't get that yet. And then my bag was overweight too, and they let me slide on that. And then she just looked at the other one and they said, okay. And they just let me through. I'm surprised. But yeah, they didn't demand I have an onward ticket, but they did ask for one. I was surprised. I didn't think they would. And anywhere they didn't when I got into Bangkok, they didn't ask you that. But I got in that roped off line and I sat there. It didn't take but about 20 minutes, 15 minutes to get through, get to my place. And I was getting up, I was pretty close. I was like 3 or 4 before they were calling there's all these lines you could get into. So there was a couple of lines all next to me, and are lined up, these glass booths. And when I got up about 3 in front of me, there was a guy who got out of line that was at the booth, but he pulled out of the booth and got on his phone and was calling his buddy saying, hey, you need to book me a room right now. They won't let me in the country. Good thing he was American, it sounded like, or Canadian, because I could understand him. I was overhearing this. He's like, they wouldn't let me in the country. I need to book a room right now. And I was like, oh, damn, I ain't got no room either. And then even the guy told him, hey, put your video away. You can't video in here. And he had him on video camera, and he had to go in and call him back on a regular phone without the video cam, because you can't video in there. That's another thing. So anyway, I thought, wow, I ain't got one. And he was standing there. He didn't know what to do. I just moved over to the next line. 2 lines over, or just 1 line over. I somehow butted my way into that, and I went up, and they didn't ask me for that line didn't ask me. That guy should have known. So that's just something to remember. Depending on what line you get into, they're might ask you, let's see your place to stay, because they're real big on that in Thailand, kind of. But the other guy didn't ask that, so I went right through. But they do, when you go into to get like a 30-day extension too, you have to bring your contract with you of where you're staying, your hotel contract or your room contract. You have to have the 30 days. If you're trying to get 30-day extension, you have to have 30-day contract and bring it with you, because you're going to need that too. That's just a side note. But anyway, yeah, to get through immigration, that's the way you got to do. Flying into Bangkok, it's pretty easy. It's self-explanatory. It's gotten easier since the last time when I flew in like 10 years ago, 9 years ago. It was a winding through, and it was kind of slower process, and it took a while. Had to go through a bunch of checkpoints and stuff. This one, there was no baggage screen, or only after you get out they baggage screen. Yeah, that's right. They'll do a baggage screen. They'll do one too when you get off in Taiwan. Even though you just got off an airplane, they're going to do a baggage screen. But they just march you right through that. They don't even make you take off your shoes or your belt or something. They don't even look at you. They just let you go through. But that's it. And then, so then that's how you get into Bangkok anyway. And the airport's big, and then I guess you're gonna stay there and catch your cab. If you do catch a cab, you go down to where the cab section is on the first level down there, and you'll get a ticket. They've got a valet guy there, and he'll give you a ticket. and that's the cab you get or something. And I guess it's to keep you from getting scammed by the taxi driver. But I don't know how good that worked. I think I overpaid when I was going to, but I didn't know where I was going. I was going kind of down into town. They took me a ways down. I was staying at a real nice hotel there in Bangkok one time. And so I think it was like $30. And then I told my friend there how much it was. And she said, yeah, he kind of screwed you. But they used the meter. I think they just got a way to, I don't know. But it was a long ride and a long traffic. So I guess it was worth it. But yeah, and that's how I got to your hotel. I guess you could get Grab too. That's what I would try probably if it's possible. If you can get a Grab, I don't know if they allow it at the Bangkok airport. They probably do. They might. I don't know. But yeah, if you go downstairs, they'll give you a ticket and they'll walk you right out to a cab. Remember, the cab driver ain't going to speak English either. So you probably, if you have some instructions, you're going to probably have to have a translate handy or show them on your Google Maps. Just show them the name of the place and let him plug it in on his, and he'll bring you there probably. But yeah, but that's how I've flown in. And also, if you're going to go down the train, if you're going to get in the airport and you go through immigration, then you just go downstairs to first level if you're going to get a bus. And that's where the taxis are. The taxis and buses are on the first level. For me to get a bus to Hue Hin, you just walk down to the end of the line and you wait, because the ticket counter, it only opens up at 7:30 in the morning and goes out. And if I got in there at like 12 midnight, so I had to wait all night for it to open it. And the first bus leaves at like 7:30. So it starts, you can buy your ticket at like 6. And there's lines there. They'll line up there right in the morning. There'll be all these people that are waiting too. So yeah, you can get a bus ride, and that's how you can get a bus ride to other places too. You know, you can Pattaya, or there was Hue Hin there. There was 2 lines, one for Pattaya and one for Hue Hin, right where I was anyway, where I was getting tickets. I don't know if they had buses other places from that ticket counter, but those 2 destinations were right there. And it was cheap. It was only $10 to Hue Hin, I think, and it's probably even less to Pattaya since that's closer. So it's probably even cheaper than that. And it was a nice air-conditioned ride bus down to here anyway. I liked it. I really did. And it was good for good value. Don't get you into town, the main part of town though. So you got to get out, and then you're at a bus station that's a little ways on the outskirts. So you have to get a grab from there into the main area of like Soy 94 if that's where you're staying or something, here in Hue Hin anyway. I don't know about Pattaya, and I don't know how much the ticket was to Pattaya. It was probably a lot cheaper than, and $10 was pretty, $9, 9 or 10. It wasn't much more than that. So yeah, well, it's cheap to travel once you get here. And then from in the airport, you go down one more level, I believe, and that's that BTS Express, or the trains are down there. The trains, I don't know where they all go to, and I didn't see them, but I seen the sign that said the rail was downstairs. So if you go down one more level, it must be underground, because I was on the ground level where the buses are. So yeah, well, anyway, that's just how I got into Bangkok, and a few things I can help you with. I also note they're going to have an e-travel thing set up pretty quick here. I hear in early part of 25, maybe even this next coming month, they're going to start up the e-travel thing. That's the same with like Philippines does. They have to have that e-travel before they'll let you on the plane. You have to show it to them on your phone. You have to show it to them when you get in the country. It's a screenshot of a barcode and all that. You have to have that or they won't let you in the country. And that's coming for Thailand too. And in that application, it's only, you got to get it like 72 hours ahead of time. It asks everything: your passport number, your address you're going to be in the Philippines or Thailand. I ain't seen the Thailand one yet, but the Philippines one does. It asks everything: phone number, where you're staying, your return flight, and all that. It's got to have everything and check all the boxes. And then you'll keep that same website. This is just for the Philippines for now anyway. The Thailand's still getting theirs together. But in the Philippines, that one you have to sign up into a website, the etravel.gov. Excuse me. There's a scam site that's up too that'll try to get you to pay. It's free, so don't pay. If you get to it, make sure it's the right site. It'll pop up both of them too. I remember seeing the other one. If you get through it and it'll try to charge you, no, code. That's the wrong one. The other one's free. The real government one is free. But yeah, you got to have all your ducks in a row, and you can only fill it out like 72 hours or something ahead of time. I forget how many hours, 48 or 72. I think it's 72. So you have to hit right at that time frame, and then that's for that flight, and you have to make that flight, or you'd have to re-sign up again, I think. And then when you're flying out of the country again, you need to redo it. The same thing, flying out. You're flying to where and first, and give all these passport numbers and all that stuff. So save everything, your phone numbers and everything. Yeah, it can be a hassle, and if you have bad internet or something, for me it was no problem. And once you're signed up on that Philippines eTravel.gov website, you keep your login information, and when you leave or go back, you can just log right back in again. I just save it on your computer or your phone or whatever, because you'll need it again if you're going to leave. When you do leave, you have to file the eTravel again to get out of the country. So just a few tips just to know what to expect. I went through a lot of this stuff before, but I thought since it's the traveling season, maybe some of you guys are traveling soon for the holidays, I thought I'd regurgitate a little bit for you. Sorry if those of you that heard it all before, but yeah. And if anyone wants to add to it, because I don't know it all either, I just sure appreciate a little info myself. Well, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.